This is a special video for my friend Oliver and his dad who have been baking bread. There was a question that came up in the middle of the baking process, and I realized that I needed an update for the video that I posted years ago. I don't even know how many years ago now, about how to get the dough from ready to bake into the oven to bake. So to answer some questions and fill in some gaps, and also to update this channel on, for those of you who are baking, I know that I've done some FaceTime videos, but this will just be a permanent video of how I use a bowl of dough and get it ready for the oven to bake into 2 little loaves. So that's probably the biggest difference in my old video. Is the old video is a previous way that I used to bake, and my nephew Adam started doing 2 loaves from 1 bowl of bread, and I loved it. And it's been perfect as far as sizing for French toast, for sandwiches, for avocado toast, for all the things that we use the bread for. It's just a perfect size. And then I don't have as many people at home right now, so if I make a bowl of bread, a lot of times I'll share a loaf, and it's the perfect size, not only for me to eat, but for me to share. So that's what we're doing today. My bowl of bread dough is ready to go. Let me show it to you. So this is one of the questions, and sorry, I'm squinting in the sun. The sun is streaming in from some high windows. It's that time of year, but long story short, if I get into the sun and I look like I'm a vampire and squint and move out, it's because it hurts my eyes. I don't want it in my eyes. All right, so this is the bowl of dough, and one of the questions Oliver and his dad had was, it's kind of gooey. It's kind of goopy. Do I add more flour? It's been, right now for me, it's been 23 hours exactly. I made this dough 4:30 p.m. yesterday, and it is now 3:30. So this is what it looks like. I hope you guys can see that. It is loose as far as the dough goes. It's a little goopy. You'll see that in just a minute. And that's exactly where we want it. Anywhere tighter, doughier than this, and it needs to process a few more hours. Past this point, you're gonna end up with a very firm rock-like bread because it overproofed. And if you don't know what that is, please go watch British Baking Show with Paul Hollywood and watch Bread Week, a couple of different seasons, and just get an idea of why we do what we do. I don't want to go into that because someone smarter than me can explain it. But just as far as what we're looking for is exactly this. So we're ready to bake. I'm going to take the plastic off, and then I'm going to try to stay out of the sun and angle this a little bit more so that you can see what we're doing. So what I have is my baking sheet. It is a baking sheet made out of clay. I love it. It's heavy. It's a lot like cast iron as far as the way that it bakes. It bakes up super crispy and light. If you don't have clay, that's fine. Use parchment paper on a metal sheet or on a glass pan. But this is parchment paper, but if you don't need that, if you're not using metal or glass and you're using clay, then just cook straight onto the clay. I prefer grapeseed oil. I have family and friends who use olive oil. You can use an infused olive oil. Just try different things, make something different. This is my typical, so I'm filming my typical. I pour a tablespoon of olive oil onto the pan. I'm gonna have to move that camera because y'all can't see. On the pan, and this is where I'm going to actually place the 2 little balls of dough. So I used to use 1 bowl of dough and make 1 big loaf, and I did that for a long time. I keep saying years, but you guys, I've been doing this for years. There are parts of my life where this is how I did it, and then I saw that there was a better way. Plus you get 4 ends. Bread ends are my absolute favorite, and if I make 2 loaves, then I get 4 ends. I like to eat, so why not make the things you like to eat? With the dough, I just take my oiled hand and scoot around the bread dough and kind of just deflate it. That's exactly what I'm doing. You're gonna pinch it in half, cut it in half with your hand, and take 1 ball and put it on one side. Take the other and put it on the other side, the opposite side. So they will end up cooking separately. Now I'm gonna wash my hands and see if I can get this camera angle a little bit down and different so you can see what I'm doing. I don't know how to edit. I really don't care. This is for friends and family, sometimes strangers that I share this with. Oh my gosh, that sun is so bright. All right, so angling this a little bit better so y'all can see what it is that I'm doing. I think that'll work great. Here's where we're at. I have some scissors ready to cut when it's time to score it. All right, so I've got 2 pieces of dough from 1 bowl. I'm going to take 1 edge and fold it into the center, take the other edge, fold it in, and I'm gonna do that repetitively until all the edges come to the center and make a ball. This is actually how you make rolls. When you make rolls, you're doing this on a very smaller scale with dough about this size. I'm gonna shove that back into that guy. So basically you're making a huge roll. Once I have it pinched all to the middle, and I like how round my edges are, I'm gonna grab it, flip it, and now all the pinch pieces are on the bottom and it's round and smooth on the top. That's done. Working on the other one. Same thing. I'm gonna take all the edges to the middle and just pinch. You can just see how I'm taking just a moment. Once I grab an edge, bring it in and give it a pinch. You can even take it around the oil, get a little extra oil on the edges. Grab it once you're done, firmly in the middle, flip it. You can even tuck it under a little bit more. What you want it to look like is the crown of a mushroom. Once I have those breads, those doughs, where I want them to bake on the pan, I take my scissors or a knife and just make 5 or 6 snips. Just helps with the baking so it's nice and even. It looks pretty. And what I usually do, let me finish rinsing my fingers. What I usually do is I let it rest from anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. Once it's rested, it'll go straight into the oven, 400 degrees for 28 to 30 minutes. Now, if you have a very dark loaf, your oven may cook a little hotter than mine. Or if you have a very light loaf, you may have an oven that cooks slower than mine or not as cooler than mine. So just be open to having a varying time. Get the dough to be a dark hue, and I'm trying to remember, I just Google internal temperature for bread. I want to say off the top of my head it's 165, but I could be wrong. And I think y'all are done looking at my hands as I talk. And that's it. You can reuse the bowl. I won't be because I've since washed my hands and there's soapy water in there. But my sister typically will use a bread dough bowl on repeat at least once or twice. And I think that's it. I mean, it's a really quick process from start to finish. I know it's a long haul because you're making your dough the day before, but from dough ready to baking, once you get the rhythm of it, it's only a few minutes. And I love that I have a way to make bread for my family that I know exactly what the ingredients are. I know that it's healthy. I know that I personally feel good when I eat it, and I don't sit down and eat a whole loaf. It's not calorie free, but compared to the gluten-free floured breads available, and the fact that I can eat this and it's not a huge expense for me to make, it's a big deal in my life. It's a big deal. So enjoy your bread. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let me know. This video is in response to answering a question and maybe hopefully fixing something that I had missed in my explanations. So I guess this isn't just for Oliver and his dad. This is for any of you who were just like, well, Joe, I need a little more information on the baking part. So thank you, Oliver. I hope you all have a great time baking. Again, please reach out if you have any questions or if you have a request, reach out. Love you guys. Bye.